years ago, my family and I went to Providence Children's Home in Kenya, Africa. While I was there, one of the things that stood out most to me was that everyone there was so much happier than the people that I met every day back home. In the classrooms, all the teachers were more generous and caring than most of the teachers here. In fact, at the Nairobi Community School I volunteered at with my mom, the teachers at the school were all happy to be the vessels of change for their students, all the while just having to share one stapler. And when I say all having to share one stapler, I'm saying this is a school with like 600 to 800 kids, and like all the teachers are in a row and they have one stapler, and when they need it, they run the student down to go get the stapler. Furthermore, the students were much more eager to learn and more involved and grateful for the experience of both being in a classroom and being able to be educated and not just do labor at home. They were also happy. And when it comes down to it, I feel like that's what we're all striving for in life, is happiness. I mean, it comes in different forms, like if I find love, I'll be happy. If I make more money, I'll be happy. If I find success or have a good job, I will be happy. But no matter what it is we're looking for, it's in the end, the goal is to be happy. So then it became a huge question in my mind. Why did people who had so little to be happy about, why were they happy all the time and so much more than privileged Americans here? Out of a national population of 44 million people, 45.9% live under the poverty line. And that's about 20,196,000 people under the poverty line. And that's just in Kenya, which is only one country in Africa. 43% of rural areas lack access to water, and 70% of rural areas lack access to sanitation. Some of the top killers in Kenya include HIV and AIDS, influenza and pneumonia, malaria, and malnutrition. Most deaths, especially in poorer areas, are from things that are lacking, such as medical care, food, water, a place to live. The gross national income per person is about $1,290 a year, which is a fraction of what my mom makes a month. In America, we associate happiness with success and wealth, and that's what landed Kenya as number 123 on the global happiness scale. The UN's General Assembly ranked countries on various factors of well-being to see how happy they were in that country on a scale of 1 to 10, and Kenya received a 4.4 on the scale. Meanwhile, in my experience while I was in Kenya, all of the people seemed like, I would say 10 times happier than the people that are so privileged and should be way more grateful here in America. Remember how I told you to call upon all those things that you complained about? How many of those things had to do with things that your parents did or that they did to make you mad? Keep that in mind. All of the girls at the children's home that I went to, they were either orphaned because their parents either died or because they abandoned them. Bridget ended up there because she was sent out to get rice for her family, and she got lost, and when the police found her, they couldn't find her family, and no one ever came looking for her, so she went into the foster care system. And Mary, her parents died of AIDS. Each and every one of the girls has her own special story, and each one has fears and other things that they're still overcoming, like, to this day, and they might never get over. Life in Kenya is hard. There's poverty, corruption, sickness, thirst, hunger, and so much more that people have to overcome. And they do. It's actually kind of amazing. The people of Kenya are joyous and giving, and I got to fully experience their amazing hospitality during my stay in Uganda, Kenya. On the first day, we were not excited travelers. It was a 20-hour flight, and it was not a large plane, and the food was not that good at all. But when we got there at like 5 in the morning, we also didn't get to rest. Like, we didn't get to go to sleep. So we unpacked our bags, and we grabbed like a snack, and then we went to the children's home to work. So we weren't happy at all. We were really grumpy and awful people. But it was actually surprising how quickly we snapped out of it when we saw all the girls and some of the boys from the dormitories at the school. When they came out and they saw us there, they were actually like super, super excited. And I don't know, something about seeing just like this massive children, which was at first frightening because they were all running. But this massive children running towards you smiling, something about it was just, I don't know, like uplifting in a way. And they were excited to see what kinds of activities we had, especially the older ones who had met missionaries from the US before and knew that something good had to happen, right? And the younger ones were shouting, Mzungu, Mzungu, which is Kiswahili for white people, white people. While the adults of our group were taken on a tour of the grounds, which was like the school and the orphanage and everything, the kids like claimed us children to play with, and we bought that. That was a gift, yeah. But before then, because we didn't bring anything with us, because oops. But before, on the very first day, all they had was one raggedy soccer ball, and I'm gonna be honest, when they dragged us up there and I saw a raggedy soccer ball and there was like no goals or anything, I'm not even much of a sports person and I am not much of a morning person, and it was like 7:30 in the morning and I got like an hour's sleep on the plane and I was not pumped. But once I started playing with them and just interacting with these people, it turned out to be one of the greatest experiences of my entire life. The girls were so full of life, and just in each one of their smiles, there was just like a spark in each of them. And it gave me hope, you know? To see girls who'd gone through such horrible and unspeakable even things that these girls had gone through, to be so happy and just playful and amazing and wonderful and so many other good words that I'm not a walking thesaurus and can't come up with right now. Afterwards, they decided to show us a game, and I know about pictures, because why would they? But it's kind of like Duck Duck Goose, so we'd all sat in a circle, and there's a little song that went along with it, and it was like, I wrote a letter to my father, but on the way I lost it. Someone must have picked it up and put it in their pocket. It wasn't you, it wasn't you. And then they called someone like, but it was you, and then they chase them. And no, I can't do it without the accent because it was like stuck in there like that, because when you hear it 90 times over and over again that way, it's never going to not be that way. Not only did that song and them playing with us just show me that it was fun to be outdoors, but it showed me that they could overcome like terrible things that had happened to them and be the happiest people I've ever met. Even when times were hard or when things didn't go their way, they were joyous, they were grateful, and they were giving. In Africa, there is a word that might recall one secret to their happiness. It's called Ubuntu, and it means I am because we are. It's a motto for bonding together, supporting each other through thick and thin, bringing joy to all around you, and being grateful no matter what, cherishing what you have, and valuing life. That's what I learned from my stay in Africa. On the last night, I cried like a huge baby because I didn't want to leave them, and I had to. I felt like they had taught me and given me so much more than I had to them, despite all the building and teaching and so many other things that we had done. But they had taught me that it isn't what happens, what you have, who you are, or anything else that makes you happy, but it's how you choose to take it and feel about it that matters. The African people that showed me that joy comes from the inside and not out, and that it can be found in the most unexpected places.